This call is now being recorded.
Okay, we're in Module 3. It's Algebra 1, Module 3, Lesson 4 and 5. We're going to talk about two concepts today that are very pertinent to many things that uh, in banking and things that are going to affect your life. The first thing is in the beginning part of Lesson 4, it gives you an assignment that we're going to do together in class. And it reads Kyra has been babysitting since sixth grade. She saved $1,000 and wants to open an account at the bank so that she can earn interest on her savings. Simple Bank pays simple interest at a rate of 10%. How much money will Kyra have after 1 year and then after two? And then follow up if she does not add any money to her account after 5 years. So let's talk about what simple interest is. So the concept of simple interest is this idea that if you give someone some money, over time, you're going to earn more money for doing nothing. And so it starts with this idea here in year number 1. So we begin with the concept of simple interest is calculated by PRT, where the P stands for principal, the R stands for the rate, and the T stands for the time in years. In this case, the principal is going to be the original $1,000. And the rate is 10%. And of course, they gave you how much money has she earned in 1 year, in 2 years, and in 5 years. So let's see how much money this builds to. So for instance, in year number 1, and we'll do a comparative analysis of all 3 of these. In year number 1, we know that the, in this case, simple interest is equal to PRT. And in these cases, I want you to realize this is the formula. So be aware that our simple interest is based on these 3 letters. And all I'm going to do is, to determine the interest earned, is I'm going to just simply put in, for instance, in year number 1, the original principal was 1,000. The rate was 10%. And 10% as a decimal is equal to 0.1. And so that's what I'm going to put here. And then the year, well, the year is 1 year. And so on your calculator, if you simply multiply 1,000 times 0.1 times 1, you get the interest earned is, as you can tell, $100. That means your total after 1 year, you have $1,100 in your account. So after 1 year, instead of just having 1,000, you have 1,100. Now, let's compare that to year 2, and I'm going to do the work here quickly, and then we'll come back and talk. So you can see that the longer you have it in, the more money you're going to make. This is called simple interest. Start with the principal, the rate starts with a percentage, you convert to a decimal, and you can see I've shown the work, and you're just plugging numbers in. All right, let's look to the next example. Okay, this next example reads, Raul needs $200 to start a snow cone stand for the hot summer. He borrows the money from a bank that charges 4% simple interest. The difference between this one is, in the first example, you were earning interest. In this one, you're paying interest. In other words, banks don't loan money because they're just nice. Banks loan money because it's business. They're making money off your money. And so in this case, it's a complete shift in what is happening with the simple interest. In the first example, you were earning that money. That's money for doing nothing. In this example, you're paying. And so let's just take a quick look, and I'm going to put the work up on the board, and we'll come back and talk. And then we're going to stop at year 3. And you can see that at year 3, the interest owed is going to be, again, your $200. If you were to wait 3 years and paid over 3 years, you would end up paying 200 times the 0.04 times the 3. And your interest that you're going to be charged is 200 times 3, which is 600. 600 times 0.04, what is that? And so you have 24. Your total owed after 3 years is $224. And in the second part, it says, well, we could keep doing that, but is there an easier way? Can we write a formula that would allow us to see after T years? And yes. So math is about seeing the pattern develop here, and we should be able to see a pattern here. If you look at the 3 things, if you look at these 3 things right here, you should see a pattern. And that pattern looks like this. It's going to be the total amount of what you're going to owe is, you're already starting with 200 plus 200 is your initial amount times the rate of 0.04, as a matter of fact, and times T. So here's a formula that we could use that allows us to determine how much you're paying in T years. Okay, so this is what's called simple interest. This is the lesson 4. This is our next problem, example 2. And so we had simple interest, and now we're going to talk about that next level, which is the compound interest annually. So we're going to start this problem, and then you'll finish it. It begins like this. Jack has $500 to invest. The bank offers an interest rate of 6% compounded annually. Compounded annually are key words. So as we look at this one, it's slightly different than simple interest. Compounded annually. So you should be drawn to these 2 words. Compounded means we're going to take whatever we earn the first year, and that's going to be a part of our principal the second year. So here we go. How much money will Jack have after the year 1? And we'll do year 1 and year 2. And then by that pattern, you should be able to do 5 years and 10 years. And then eventually come up with a formula. So here we go. So we know that we have interest. We're investing. We want to know, what is the interest on $500? And of course, we remember that we're still talking about simple interest in the beginning, principal, rate, and time. And so the principal 500, the rate is 6%, which is 0.06. And in this case, the first year. So as we take and do this, it's going to be 500, just on the calculator, 500 times 0.06. And that's 30. And so right now, for year 1, after year 1, you have $530. When we say compound annually, So now in year 2, when we go to determine interest, the new interest is going to be now with a new principal of $530. You're still multiplying it times the 0.06. Okay, and so in year 2, again, this is the second year, so it's still one year. Your interest then is going to be calculated off the principal of 530 times 0.06, 31.80. So now your new balance is now 530 plus the 3180, and now it's 561.80. And so in the first year, once again, in the first year, you earn $30, and that 530 becomes the principal for the second year. And after 2 years, you have $561.80. This is what's called compound annually. And so if you keep this pattern moving, you can find what you'd have in 5 years and in 10 years. So the trick is to find a formula. So what I'd like for you to do is try to develop and see a pattern here. Is there a formula that we can come up with? And that's going to be part of your assignment right now. So